Right to repair? Shoot, I just want the right to use what I already bought. Hi, I'm Woody Huffines. I'm the nurse to go in McKinney, Texas, and this is Tech for the Untechnical. One of the big issues right now in the computer repair world is called a right to repair. And most of the right to repair stuff revolves around the Apple computers because Apple is a proprietary system. It's proprietary hardware, proprietary software. Nobody else gets to play inside that Apple sphere. So if your Apple computer has a problem, you can't go buy a part to fix it because Apple won't sell you the part to fix it. So you can't repair your computer even if you wanted to because you can't get the parts to do it. That's one of the things that we run into in the computer repair business. If somebody brings us an Apple computer, we have to go to the aftermarket. We have to look at refurbished parts because Apple won't sell us the parts to fix the computer. And it's called right to repair, and it's a big deal. And there's a bunch of things going around in Congress and state legislatures about right to repair, trying to get Apple to let people repair the computers that they bought. Well, now it's gotten worse than that. We've talked about this before, whether it's Facebook or Apple or Google or Microsoft, they want to control you in their environment, in their ecosystem, if you will. You know, there's got Google Drive, which is a drive, if you have a Google account, you can share information out there or put information out on a cloud drive. And then there's OneDrive from Microsoft, and there's iCloud for Apple. And anybody, all the vendors want to get all of your data in one place. Because if they can get your data in one place, it makes an impediment for you to change. So if you're a Google person and you're using Gmail and you're using Google Drive and you're using Google Photos, and Microsoft comes in and wants to take over and use OneDrive and Teams instead of Meet, and they've got this suite of software. They want you in their environment so that you use their stuff and they're able to monetize your data and advertise from your data and gather information from your data. So everybody's in this war, if you will, to try to capture all of your data. So in this world where they're trying to capture all your data and make sure that if you're a Microsoft person, you stay a Microsoft person, don't become a Google person or an Apple person or whatever other kind of person that stores your data, uses your data, or uses the application someplace else, they've made it really difficult for you to understand when you're installing software. For example, if you go buy a new computer, let's say you go buy a Windows computer, and you fire that son of a gun up and it starts running you through account setup. And one of the things that Microsoft wants you to do is establish a Microsoft account. Well, you just got a new computer and you like it and you're trying to get through it so that you can surf the web and do your email. So you're doing this setup on the thing and it asks you questions, you know, do you have a Microsoft account? And you say no. And then it says, well, you need a Microsoft account. And you say, don't want one. And it says, well, you can't go further until you have a Microsoft account. And then they install a Microsoft account. Well, they want you to have a Microsoft account because if you have a Microsoft account, now they own that computer. There are certain things that you can and can't do on your computer if you have what's called a domain account. So if you set up a Microsoft account, when you set up Windows 10 and Windows 11, if you forget that Microsoft account password, you may have a problem. And the biggest problem that we run into is people that use Bitlocker on their computer. Now, what's Bitlocker? Bitlocker is whole disk encryption. What Bitlocker does is it encrypts all of the data on the disk, which from a security standpoint is pretty cool because if you lose your laptop or somebody steals your laptop and they can't log into it, they can't get to the data. In fact, they can take the computer apart and pull the drive out and try to boot that drive in another environment, and they still can't get to the data because the data is encrypted on the computer. Which is a pretty cool computer security thing because people can't get to your data, even if they have physical access to your machine if they don't have that Microsoft account login. The problem is that sometimes people in the process of trying to get their computer running and trying to get it up, they create a Microsoft account, they forget the password. And in Microsoft, in the Windows 10 Pro, the BitLocker is on by default. So if you run through that and you set up a Microsoft account and then it BitLockers your computer, if you forget that computer account name, if you forget that Microsoft account name and password, you can't get to your data. We've had a number of clients come in that can't remember their Microsoft account password, can't get it recovered. They didn't put in a recovery email. They didn't put in a recovery phone number. They didn't put in a recovery way to get back to that Microsoft account. And now the data on their computer is forever encrypted, and there's nothing we can do. So, as you do things with your computer, you need to really pay attention to that setup process. Is it going to be Bitlocker? Is it going to require a Microsoft Online account? Is that Microsoft Online account going to cause you a problem? And these things are kind of difficult to foresee what the problem is going to be in the future. So why do I tell you this? Well, my advice to you is if you go get a computer, consult with us at Nerds to Go. Before you go get it set up, before you go through it, talk with us about what your options are to set that computer up in such a way that you own the data, that you own the way to get to the data, and that you own a way to recover the data, because there's some decisions that you can make in that setup that will cause you a problem if you don't remember them or can't find them. Like Bitlocker, like a TPM problem. We've got a couple of computers that people lost their Bitlocker account and they can't get back to it, and now it's caused problems with their sound card and their speakers and their network drives and their camera and all this other stuff because inadvertently they established Bitlocker on the computer and they can't get that data recovered. So the bottom line here is talk to a pro. This stuff's supposed to be pretty easy, and it is pretty easy if you know what the pitfalls are, and we can help you with that. I'm Woody Huffines. I'm the Nerds to Go in McKinney, Texas. This is Tech for the Untechnical. Give us a holler if you have any questions. Leave questions in the comments below. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, share it with your friends, and we'll talk to you again soon.